Good afternoon, students. Please confirm all of you can hear me. All right. I think your last session completed at 3:30, right? You got a break at 3:30, if I'm not wrong. Yes, then fine. I think we are good to start. Okay. I think you had enjoyed the sufficient break. Hmm? All right. So, after dividend chapter, we are going for another very interesting chapter of Companies Act, from where a lot of questions are expected. And it's a beautiful chapter. Again, it is taken from CA final because in CA IPCC this chapter was not available. As I told you guys, three chapters have been imported from CA final to CA inter. Dividend we have already done with. Next chapter, what I'm willing to start with, it is the accountancy. Accountancy, and after accountancy, I will start with auditing. So total three chapters you will complete, and then some portion of look, once we complete these two major chapters of Companies Act, that means accounts, auditing. After then, what is left? Look, charge is already completed. Share capital is pending. After share capital completed, we will go with debentures, deposit, and last chapter what I want to complete, and that is general meeting. And when these many chapters are covered up, your Companies Act portion will be over. Your Companies Act portion will be over. All right. So please put the heading in your notebook, guys. Now, what we are starting with, it is the accounts of company. Accounts of company. All right. Let's begin with, guys, the different chapters we are going to face within this. So as usual, let's put the heading here, accounts of the company. Accounts. No, just a second. I'm sorry, that was Gujarati language. So accounts of company. Okay, can you tell me what was the ending section of dividend chapter? Which section we learned at the end? In dividend, what was the chapter we learned at the end? Of course, it is 127. So after dividend chapter, the next section what is going to start, that is 128. So accounts of company will start from section 128. Right on. Section 128 to it will go till section 138. Section 138, and after 138, from section 139 to section 148, it is these are the auditing sections. And after 148, you are going to face at your CA final. CA final. I think this discussion already we have made that in your CA inter you people have till 148. Till 148, right? I think all of you know about that. Okay. Now, before I start the contents about this particular chapter, question is what kind of questions we are going to face in that? What kind of questions we are going to face in that? Look, question clarity is very important. If you look at even the dividend chapter here, before starting, you see all these questions we try to solve. For example, is dividend compulsory? Answer is no. Who has the right to receive dividends? So answer would be registered shareholder. Do you remember one question regarding Raj? एक राज वाला क्वेश्चन किया था whether Raj is entitled to receive the dividend or not. Procedure to issue dividend. Is it possible to withdraw the dividend after declaration? So I told you it is not possible. Why? Because once the dividend is declared, it becomes the statutory liability for the company. Dividend can be withdrawn before it got passed in the general meeting. So board has proposed it and not declared in the general meeting, you can do that, but after declaration, it's not possible. What about unclaimed dividend? What about transfer of shares? That is abeyance wala point. Mode of dividend. Can it be paid in kinds? No, it is not possible to pay it in kinds. It will have to be paid only in cash or checks or the warrant. Can dividend be settled against the dues? What's the answer of it? Can dividend be settled against any dues? Answer is absolutely yes. What is the penalty and the punishment? That part also we have covered. And creation and management of investors education and protection fund. That part also we have covered. So the same way, guys, write down the possible questions. Possible questions. What we can face here. Write down the possible questions. What kind of questions this chapter will answer? So write down. First of all, point number one here, that what is books of accounts? What is books, or what are the books of accounts, or what is meaning of books of account for a company? After then, write down what is the place of what is the place to keep the books of accounts, and where to keep it. What is the place to keep the books of accounts? And sorry, what if company wants to change the place? Okay, can company maintain books of accounts on cash basis? Cash basis. Okay, guys, all these questions are look. Some of the questions what I'm putting here, they are already asked in exam. Okay, so question को सबसे पहले clear कर लो. Now, one more point is, do you know there are two types of methods to keep the accounts? The first one is mercantile method of accounting. I think somewhere in your schoolings or during your foundation in accounts or somewhere you must have been explained this, right? There are two types of methods to maintain the books of accounts. The first one is cash basis, and the second one is mercantile basis. I think you know that. Fourth one here, write down Is it okay? Right on here. Can company destroy the books of accounts after 3 years? So this question is asking that how long a company should preserve the books of accounts. All right, next question we write down here. Okay, what is the framework of financial statements? Financial statements. Framework of financial statements. Who has the authority? Who has the authority to sign the financial statements? Who has the authority to sign the financial statements? After then you write down, can books of accounts of the company be maintained in electronic form? Can books of accounts of company be maintained in electronic form? After then write down the answer question. Is it possible to reopen and revise the books of accounts of company? So it is possible to recast. Recast means already it is prepared, and suddenly the new management believes that there are some manipulations. Manipulations, I think you can understand, right? Suddenly it believes that there are some manipulations, and just because of those manipulations, company wants to revise the books of accounts. So what is the provision in that? So is it possible to go for revision of books of accounts? Next question is, what is NFRA? Do you know what is NFRA? Hello? Okay. Explain the powers and composition of NFRA. What is the full form of NFRA? Anyone has any idea? Or no idea. At least you can type yes or no. Come on. Okay, it is National Financial Reporting Authority. Very good, Mahima. It is National Financial Reporting Authority. National Financial Reporting Authority. After then, write down what are the contents of board report and who can sign it. And who can sign it. Or rather, you can say who is the authority? Who is the authority to sign board report? Board. Write down next question. Okay. Explain the provision to submit annual report and financial statement with ROC. Next, write down provisions to submit, provisions to submit financial statements in XBRL format. Now, what is XBRL, that I will tell you later on. Provisions to submit financial statements in XBRL format. All right. And last, you write down which are the companies, which are the companies for which the appointment of internal auditor is mandatory. Okay. Can company secretary become internal auditor for the company? I think you people have not done auditing part, right? Or it's done. Auditing part is done or not done? Hello? Auditing subject भाई हुआ है या नहीं हुआ है? Not yet started, हाँ. So answer देना पड़ेगा बेटा. Okay, keep on answering. That will actually, otherwise I will not be able to conclude properly. ठीक है? Yeah, this format is good. Complete all the 13 questions. These many possible questions, what I'm expecting for your exam. So I think all of you are comfortable with this also, right? Actually, first time I have introduced this kind of things. Like before I start the discussion of the content, I will tell you that in this chapter what we are going to cover up. And at the end of the day, the student must be able to answer all these questions. Now, any question can be asked in exam in story form. Story, you understand, right? There will not be straightforward questions, but the content will be same. For example, explain the provisions to submit an annual report and financial statements. So there will be the story that there is a company conducted general meeting, but it submitted the financial statements and the annual report after 180 days of conducting general meeting. Explain whether is it compliance or non-compliance. So ultimately, anyone who has the answer that within what time the financial statements and the annual report should be submitted with ROC, that student can easily answer this question, whether it is story form or whether it is straightforward form. All right, copy all the questions, go through that once and type the word done. Okay, then I will give you the content of accounts chapter. Thank you. Done? All right. So after then, guys, look, this will help you to revise your contents while you're preparing for exam. Because you won't believe right now, a lot of first year students, because last time in BCom, I took that first year, they're asking that content what you taught in the class, is there any IMP questions? Is there any important questions? But this time I decided to let them give the important questions first. What are applicable for exams or where to focus more? So in this chapter, these are the main important questions where you need to focus more. All right. पूरा पढ़ा के बाद में करने से अच्छा हर चैप्टर से पहले ही I will give you IMP questions. Prepare for this, prepare for this. Okay, now if you want to see how many questions have already been asked in exam, so let me tell you. Acha, do you want to see that out of this, what are the questions already asked in exam? वो जानना चाहते हो? ऑलरेडी एग्जाम में कहाँ पे आ चुके हैं, ठीक है? एक तो ये क्वेश्चन है, ये सीए फाइनल में कई बार आ चुका है ये क्वेश्चन. ओके, लेट मी चेंज द कलर, ठीक है? For this I will keep blue color. All this bluish color are the exam questions. Okay. Destruction नहीं है, framework नहीं है, तो authority is asked for many times, many times. Electronic form not came. Yes, revision of has came one or twice. NFRA. Composition wala part NFRA once I think it is asked in exam, so you just focus on that. Board is not asked it is this question 11 question very important. XBRL again it is very important. These are already asked questions in exam. And internal audit. So these many questions are important for your exam. I hope it is clear, right? The screen is stuck. क्या बात कर रहे हो? Sorry. It was paused. Highlight all these blue colored questions. These are already asked questions for exam. Is there any student who's maintaining the notes in electronic form? Instead of writing, he's just maintaining this in laptop or tablet, or all of you are writing only? Tell me. Writing, okay. ठीक है, तो कोई बात नहीं. अदरवाइज व्हाट आई वांटेड कि इसको पेस्ट कर लेते चैट बॉक्स में, तो आप डायरेक्टली वहां से उसको कॉपी कर सकते थे. So writing is good. Writing is good. Okay, highlight this and type the word done again. तो हम आगे जाएंगे उसमें. Okay, guys, I think now we're good to go. Let's begin with the content of the chapter. As you know, guys, we have the section 128 to section 138. So basically, we are going to, what is in the chapter? Nothing but just the section number. So write down, guys, accounts of the company, contents. All right. That means what we are going to learn in that contents. Did you observe one thing that Companies Act is not like a contract act or not like a SOGA? Because many students are complaining, sir, Companies Act is very dry. Companies Act is very much it is not that interesting like Indian Contract Act. No, I can understand this. You see, Companies Act is more of compliances bill. It is more of income tax. It is just like the income tax and GST. But you cannot find the more interesting sums. You cannot find more interesting sums. Got it? There is nothing like sums. So it is more procedural. Every time we need to face the procedure. What happens if we fall, if this is the thing like annual return, financial statements. So you cannot find much of the case studies over there. ज़्यादा case studies आपको नहीं मिलेंगे. Alright. Right on, guys. The first is here, the section 128 here. Section 128. Okay. Section 128. And 128 deals with, right on, books of accounts. Books of accounts. Books of accounts. एक काम करो, पूरा डिटेल में पहले सब कुछ लिख लो, उसके बाद में डिस्कशन शुरू करूंगा. Books of accounts. After then, write down, guys, here the section 129. 129 deals with financial statements. Financial statements. After 129, we have another very important section which talks about 130. And the section 130, sorry, there is 129 capital A. And write down, it is periodical financial statements. And I want all of you to make it like the amendment of 2020. Okay, guys, I want all of you, देखो जो भी अमेंडमेंट आया है ना बेटा, उसको काफी डिटेल से करना. Why? I cannot trust on these ICI people. Whenever there are amendments, they are asking a lot out of that. So whole 129A is the amendment. Earlier this section was not there. Did you observe here? It is 129 capital A. So it is newly inserted between 129 and 130. So it is neither part of 129. It is altogether independent section. Have you observed it? Okay. After 129, we have another section called 130. Write down, guys, 130 is the reopening of books of accounts on court or tribunal's order. On court or tribunal's order. Alright. After then, go to 131 here. 131. Again, guys, 131 is the reopening of the accounts, but not any due to the court's order, but it is voluntary. Right on, voluntary revision of financial statements or board's reports or board's report. All right. After then, I want all of you to focus here. After 139, you put it over here 132. अच्छा हाँ, पहले ये नोट कर लो, ये सारे नोट कर लो. Is it done? Is it done? Okay, after 131, we are going for 132. 132 is about. Okay, what is 132? Right on here. 132 is the Constitution of NFRA, National Financial Reporting Authority. 133 talks about 133 talks about powers of central government to prescribe accounting standards. Is it done or not? 133 accounting standards. ये हुआ है नहीं हुआ? बताओ. Accounting standard is done or not? 134, not completely, but somewhere it is done, I guess, right? Okay, write down section 134, board report, board report. Oh guys, I missed one of the important questions here. Oh my God, it is not a question, it is the chapter within itself. Write down the question number 14, it is the provisions of CSR policy. Provisions of CSR policy. For example, what is the rate? Okay. What are the objectives? What are the objectives? After then, once CSR you understand, right? Corporate social responsibility. I think all of you know about it. CSR, corporate social responsibility. Okay. So once CSR is applicable, can it be withdrawn? Can it be withdrawn? So there are a lot of questions. Okay, applicability of CSR in COVID-19. So what about what changes are taking place in COVID-19? Okay, so there are a lot of questions. Can CSR funds be utilized? Can CSR funds be utilized? Excuse me, students. A student, I have an urgent delivery to take. So can I put you on hold for 2 minutes if you don't mind? I'll pick up my parcel, paid, and I'll come back. I'm extremely sorry for the inconvenience. Okay, till that you just write down this 14th question. 14th question. Uh, Deepika? Wait. All right. Fine. So that is the 14th question. That is about the CSR policy. So write down, guys, over here the section 135. Section 135 and section 135 is about corporate social responsibility. Write down. Corporate social responsibility. After then, 136. Section 136 deals with the right of member to copies of audited financial statement. Now the last two sections are there, section 137 and 138. Copy that. 137 and 138. And 137 speaks about copy of financial statement, copy of financial statement to be filed with ROC. And 138 is talking about internal auditor. Internal auditor. So these all are the contents of our accounts of the complete chapter. Okay, just copy it, and once it's done, type the word done, then I will go to the first section 128. चलो महिमा क्या बात है, वेरी क्विक. दूसरे लोगों का हो गया है. इफ इट इज नॉट डन देन हो गया तो ठीक है, वरना आई कैन स्टार्ट. निम्मी, ऑल राइट, निम्मी, शी इज आल्सो डन विद दैट. इशिका, ठीक है. All right, if it is done, then we can start with the first point, and that is section 128. चलिए 128 पे जाते हैं सबसे पहले. Section 128. Section 128. So just like this, understand, guys, what are the possible questions what we can get out of section 128. Please write it down. Possible questions or possible points we can get into section 128. Okay. चलिए सबसे पहले 128 को देख लेते हैं. All right. So 128, write down, guys, these all are the possible questions. सबसे पहले जो है 128. What are the different points you need to learn that? First of all, modes and methods to keep the books of accounts. Modes and methods to keep the books of accounts. Write down. Modes and methods to keep the books of accounts. Second point, right down here. Maintenance of books of accounts in case of branches. In case of branches. In case of branches. Now this part can be categorized into two parts. What if there is Indian branches? And the second is, what if there are foreign branches? So Indian branches and abroad means foreign branches. So sometimes there can be the question about what are the provisions to maintain the books of accounts if the branches are established outside India. So when we can say that actually the provisions has been complied with. So that answer will be given under section 128. Under section 128. All right. All right. After then write down inspection of books of accounts. Who has the right to inspect it? Inspection of books of accounts. Again, guys, we have these two different points here. Inspection of branch books of accounts. I will use the BOA. BOA stands for books of accounts. Okay. Inspection of branch books of accounts and inspection of books of accounts of subsidiary company. Inspection of books of accounts of subsidiary company. After then write down the next question what we are going to answer it. The preservation of books of accounts. Preservation of books of accounts. How long it will be kept? Okay. After then, okay, what I want is, I will continue but not here. Let me take it like this. Okay. This is the second draw where you can continue this. Let me distinct. Write down in case, okay, defaulting officer for defaulting officers for default in complying section 128. So this point is trying to say that who are the people will be considered as the defaulting officers if they don't comply section 128. If they don't comply section 128. After then write down books of accounts in electronic form. Electronic form. Books of accounts in electronic form. All right. So if you complete this much, our only one section called 128 will come to the end. Only one section. That is 128. All right. Copy this. So do not take 128 lightly because there can be any possible question in exam. 128 में बहुत कुछ है. So 128 को पूरा religiously लीजिएगा. Now not only from the provision they can frame the question, but rules are also important. Look, when I talk about the act, do you really think that act means only provisions or it is provisions plus rules in the Companies Act? Hello? Do you really think only provisions section number पढ़ लिया act का understanding खत्म हो गया? What do you mean by the act, the law? Is it only provision or provision plus rules? So in short, my question is are rules part of the act or not? Hello? Are rules part of the act or not, or they are just there for as a reference? Is it part of the answer would be act is equal to provisions plus rules. So all the students who are ignoring the rules and they are reading just the bare act, it is wrong. वो सही नहीं है. वो सही नहीं है. And today if you want to secure at least 50, okay, Sriram has a wonderful question. What is the difference between rules and provisions? Wow. Before I start explaining that, let's have a great round of applause for Sriram, please. Sriram के लिए जोर से तालियां हो जानी चाहिए because he gave me this opportunity so that I can tell you that what is the difference between these two. Okay. So I have the two different statements. First of all, I want पेड़ा. पेड़ा, you understand? It is a sweet. You know, धारवाड़ का पेड़ा कभी खाया? पेड़ा खाया है कभी? पेड़े खाए कभी? धारवाड़ में काफी अच्छे पेड़े मिलते, छोटे छोटे. खाओ तो दिल खुश हो जाए. So if I have written that I want peda on my birthday, I want peda on my birthday. All right. And now another statement is in order to make peda, okay, buy 1 liter, buy milk, then sugar, then some dry fruits, whatever you want. All right. After then, boil milk, add some sugar. Okay, stir it. All right. Till it becomes solid. Okay. When it is after half an hour, add some chopped pieces of dry fruits. All right. When it is solid, shape it in PEDA's form and then hit it. I got the two different statements. You see, this is the one statement. All these, maybe some of you are thinking, sir, PEDA kahan padhane ja raha? But this is important because we are learning the Companies Act. This statement, can you see? This is the statement which says that what you want or what you want to do, and this is the things which tells you about how it will be done or how it will be processed. Can you differentiate this? This statement answers what you want, and this statement answers how it will be achieved if you want to get it. How it will be achieved if you want to achieve it. So guys, this is the relationship between PEDA and process. Provision and the rules. Provision just says what to be done, but it doesn't say how it will be done. Did you observe? Did you observe one thing? That it is said that whenever you're creating the charge shall be registered. But how it will be registered? Was it the part of rules or it was the part of provision? I think all of you have witnessed the charge chapter. Am I right? Hello? Sriram? Got it? We have just to say that okay, charge will be registered, but kaise register hoga? What form will be utilized? What is the time limit? To whom it will be given? So all that details are separately provided in the rules. If everything is provided in the act, because many students have this doubt, sir, what the wrong if that process itself is explained in the provision itself? अगर section में ही डाल दिए तो गलत क्या था? If you are adding that those rules into provision, the limitation number one, the disadvantage number one, act itself will become very bulky. Second thing, if you want to alter any of the process later on, it would be very difficult. Why? Because once the act is passed in the both the houses of parliament, and later on if you want to change it, you have to call both the sessions of parliament, discuss, get the majority, then again go to president, he will sign, again you publish to official gazette, and then those amendments will be applicable. So instead of that, what government thought is make the main provision which is not easily alterable in the act, and whatever processes are there, what form will be used, how it will be used, keep it in the separate rules. So understand, generally provisions are parliamentary in nature. Parliamentary means central government doesn't have right to amend it, but rules are under the control of, tell me, it is under the control of central government. So today, if central government wants to change the name of form, or it wants to introduce the new form to the people, do you really think that government will call the parliamentary session? No. Central government has the right to change the rules. So in short, rule is the procedure. For example, if you look at here the section 135, by 135 क्या है यहाँ पे? Detail में है. 135 CSR. But how CSR policy will be implemented? You need to create CSR committee, the board. What is the maximum rate? It is not mentioned in the provision. It is mentioned in the separate rule called CSR Rule 2014. And trust me, the rules are rules are having a lot of contents than the provision itself. इतने ज्यादा कंटेंट्स है, इतने ज्यादा कंटेंट्स है कि बात ही मत पूछो, बहुत ज्यादा कंटेंट्स है. Are people getting me what am I trying to say? So as being the complete law student, I will tell you where you need to learn the rules and where you need to learn the provision. But understand, you need to understand both the things simultaneously. Once you read the provision but you did not read the rules with that regards, so it doesn't make sense. Okay, now I know your important questions are whether ICI is asking questions on the basis of rules. I think आपको ये क्वेश्चन होगा सर बाकी सब तो जाने दो क्या ICAI क्वेश्चन पूछती है does it ask the question in exam answer is absolutely yes so rules are inevitable you have to do that it is unavoidable ठीक है all right so what I will do is quickly I will give you the brief about section 128 and after giving the brief I will come back to the contents what is given in the material मटेरियल जो ऑनलाइन मैंने आपको बताया है वही रहेगा बिकॉज guys I think all of you people are comfortable with that online book right do you find yourself easy over there because a lot of links are there if you click suddenly you will get the meanings of a lot of things is it comfortable for all of you look this feedback is very important because I want to see are you still used to follow this traditional approach physical method में read it or you're also comfortable with the online contents as well obviously I'm going to give that physical material as well but till I provide are you people comfortable with that okay I think I should ask you this how many of you are using this online ebook of government how many of you are using this Mahima is using Ishika is using Shamika very good and if you compare with your ICI material there is nothing new in that did you observe कुछ नया नहीं है उसमें वही same to same चीज है even ICAI has copied the content from this book and do you know what? Printing material may have the mistake. This is the governmental records. Governmental records. This is called the Bare Act. Bare Act means the language what is used. It is the same language what is passed in the Parliament of India. And ICA is expecting us to go through these paragraphs and answer the questions. Okay, I hope you people don't have any objection going in this. If you want me to go with the material, I can go with that. Okay. चलेगा ये अगेन आई वांट टू आस्क भाई चलेगा ये बुक जो है ठीक है पढ़ने के लिए अलग से मटेरियल दूंगा डोंट वरी ठीक है यस दौड़ अरे वाह थैंक यू एक सेकंड रुको भाई गला बैठ गया थोड़ा पानी पी लेते हैं तो भाई शुरू करें brief and all that okay so section 128 so look at how many points are there if you look at the main provision a total 6 subsections are there 6 subsections first is about modes and the methods to keep the books of accounts modes and methods to keep the books of accounts question number one is can it be prepared in random way or it has the specific format answer the question if I talk about let's say any company today the TCS limited okay let me show you how TCS limited's the books of accounts look like the financial statement looks like और वहां पे क्यों जाओ मेरे पास एक प्राइवेट लिमिटेड कंपनी मेरी खुद की है let me show you the financial statement prepared by me रुको मैं दिखाता हूँ आपको all right can you see this particular Here it is written the Destin Global Tradecom Private Limited. Are you able to see this? Hello? But ये data काफी confident आपको अपना समझा है तो आपके साथ share कर रहा हूँ. Don't give it to anyone else. So look at guys, there are a lot of things, income tax, ROC, and a lot of this. If you go to income tax, assessment year 21-22, company audit report, and look at this balance sheet with schedules. Are you able to see this? And this is profit and loss account with schedules. If you click on this, this is the PDF. Are you able to see? Look, this balance sheet is not a normal horizontal balance sheet the way you people are actually preparing. It's not a horizontal, it is vertical. And look at the revenue, other income, expenses, purchase stock, employee benefit expenses, other expenses, current tax, deferred tax, profit before tax. This is the losses, reporting. All right. And these are the directors and all that, signature and everything. These are the financial statements. Do you read? And these all are the different comparative, what I can see the schedules. I hope you can see this. Comparative schedules. दिख रहा है आप लोगों को? बुक्स ऑफ अकाउंट्स की बात कर रहे तो ये भी इंपॉर्टेंट है. मेरा सबसे पहला पॉइंट है कि can you prepare the books of accounts and financial statements randomly the way you want? The way you want. Answer will be no. You cannot. Guys, this is the framework. Framework here means the format provided by company law, and this is called Schedule 3. I think as being the CA student, all of you must have heard somewhere what is Schedule 3. Am I right? Schedule 3 के बारे में तो सुना होगा. Come on. So guys, one point is clear. Companies may, you cannot prepare your books of accounts as well as your financial statements the way you want. You have to follow the prescribed formats. And that format is known as framework. So write down guys what are the rules about. So what are the rules regarding this framework? Okay. So write down guys the note number one. Note number one. Books of accounts, as far as books of accounts are concerned, okay, financial statement के बारे में लेते पहले. Financial statements of the company shall be prepared according to which schedule? Answer the question. बताओ. Financial statements of the company shall be prepared according to Schedule 3 of the company side. Now many of you are asking, sir, ये Schedule 3 दिखता कैसा है? So let me show you guys. If you come to here, this is the Company Law Act, okay, and this is the chapter accounts of company. If you come down, can you see the Schedule 1? Schedule 1 is the format of memorandum of association. Okay, different tables, table A, table B, table C. Those tables already we have covered up during our CA foundation point. If you come to this, this is the Schedule 2. Schedule 2 is used for depreciation rate. And Schedule 3 is given in the general instructions for preparation of balance sheet and the profit and loss account for the company division 1. So whole Schedule 3 is divided into how many parts? 3. As you can check it over division 1, division 2, division 3. अरे भाई दिख रहा है क्या? दिख रहा है? नहीं दिख रहा है. हाँ जी. If you click on here the Schedule 3 over here, why no link is given? I'm shocked. ऐसा कैसे हुआ? Schedule 3 क्यों नहीं दिया भाई? Look at schedule 1 भी नहीं दिया. ओके, टेबल जे है यहाँ, ठीक है. Schedule 2 है क्या? Yes, schedule 2 is also not given. So maybe the contents are yet to be updated. Possible है. Contents are yet to be updated. Possible. Division to have it. I'm just clicking on this divisions, but nothing else is opening. So fine. By the way, it was just for your knowledge purpose. Okay, just for your knowledge purpose. Uh, it worked on my laptop, so is it opening there? If it is working in your laptop, what's the wrong in my laptop, by? Is the format coming or something like? Okay, let me check in some other browser. Maybe the browser is the issue. Only division 1 is working. They have worked so smartly. So according to me, work तो करना चाहिए. I will try for 1 minute. If it's not working, I will leave it. Okay, जाने दो. क्या कर सकते हैं, नहीं खुलता तो. Oh yes, it has opened. Look at this. It has opened, but in the other browser. So it is the problem with the Google Chrome. Don't worry. Yes. Are you able to see this particular? Look at this is the entire balance sheet of everything. All right, equity in the liability, shareholders funds, the share capital, business and surplus and all that. Okay, I hope you can see this. And even if you come down, there are a lot of contents. Huh? A lot of contents. Uri Baba, look at this now. And this is the part 2, the statement of profit and loss account, the revenue from the operations, other income. Did you see over here the same thing I provided for my clients as far as what is applicable? It's too huge. It is too huge. All right. And again, the instructions, notes to accounts, and a lot of things are there. By the way, my all right. Just give me some 2 minutes, students. I'm coming. Oh, fine. I'm extremely sorry for the inconvenience, guys. So let's come back to the explanation. Are you here just to show your presence? Are you here? All right. So now the first question was the modes. The books of accounts cannot be prepared. It should be prepared according to the schedule 3. The way it is presented, the same way we have to provide it. The same way we have to provide it. Now, there is one question for exam. The question for exam goes in this way. Suppose there's a HDFC Bank. There's a HDFC Bank Limited. HDFC Bank Limited. And this company is registered under two different acts. The first one is the Companies Act 1956, and the second act is the Banking Regulation Act 1949. Okay, so there are two registered acts. The first is the Companies Act 1956, so you can call it now the existing 2013, and second is the Banking Regulation Act 1949. The question is, both of these provisions contain the format of preparing the financial statements and the books of accounts. Okay. Both of them, it contains the format of financial statements. Now, isn't it the clash between the two acts? Because Company Act says that you have to prepare according to Schedule 3, whereas the Banking Regulation Act says by ignore Companies Act, we are banks, and always banks presentation should be more transparent than the company. So here there is a clash between the two acts. The question is, for your exam, which one will be given the priority? Which one will be followed? HDFC Bank Limited, which is registered under both, so it will be the Companies Act और बैंकिंग रेगुलेशन एक्ट कौन सा फॉलो करना है आपको. दिस इज द क्वेश्चन इन योर एग्जाम. तो आप क्या करेंगे बताओ. ओके, महिमा का आंसर है कंपनी को फॉलो करेंगे. हाँ महिमा बेटा, आपने एक बार ऑलरेडी आंसर दे दिया है, नॉट एन इशू. ठीक है, बताओ. ओके, श्रीराम सेज बैंकिंग को फॉलो करेंगे. ठीक है, व्हाट अबाउट अदर्स? बैंकिंग. ओके, you tell me, can I say that HDFC Bank Limited, for HDFC Bank Limited, the Banking Regulation Act 1949, it is the special act specifically made for the banks only. So as far as the company is concerned, Company Act is a general law for all the companies. But in that generalization, if there is anything what is special, so what should be the treatment? That means the special thing should be treated first or general thing should be treated first? Answer it. Special. So understand, for HDFC Bank Limited, the Banking Regulation Act is the special act because it is a bank first and then company. So what is the interpretation? First of all, the HDFC Bank Limited, ICICI Bank Limited or Axis Bank Limited, like companies, they will follow the provisions of the Banking Regulation Act 1949. So Banking Regulation Act 1949 is above Companies Act so far as it is clashing. So HDFC Bank Limited will follow only those provisions of the Companies Act which are not inconsistent with the Banking Regulation Act 1949. All of you clear till this? HDFC Bank Limited will follow only Companies Act in the case where it is not inconsistent. So if there is a clash, between the Companies and the Special Act, then always special act will be prevailed. All right, write on the note for that. In case of the companies like banking companies, insurance companies, then electricity supplying companies, or any other companies governed by the special act of their domain. The provisions of special act shall prevail over the Companies Act. In case there is any contradictory provisions in both the acts. Copy it, student. This is very helpful to solve the question. अगर एग्जाम में आया तो ठीक है clear this. If it is noted, then I will go to the next question under section 128. चलिए. If it is clear, type the word 128. Sorry. Type the word clear. And done. हो गया? Thank you, Nimi. Thank you, Ishika. Thank you, Mahima. I hope it is, and I think it is done by the other students as well. All right. The next question here is: there is a company, and the company, let's say, company's name is Dr. Nimi Services Limited, and this company is running hospitals. Okay. So hospitals means it is coming under the category of professionals. Can I say? It is coming in the category of professionals. It is coming in the capacity of professionals. Now this company wants to maintain the books of accounts on cash basis. I think all of you know there are two methods of maintaining the books of accounts. Excuse me just a second. I'm sorry for the inconvenience, guys. So it wants, there are two sets of methods. The first method is the mercantile method, where everything will be recorded on accrual basis. Got it? Or you can go with the cash basis as well. ऐसा कहीं पे पढ़ा है आप लोगों ने? That cash and mercantile, both the options are available. Have you learned it somewhere in the accounting? हाँ, मीन्स अकाउंटिंग सब्जेक्ट में आपने पढ़ा होगा ना ये? Yeah, but it is the company. So if Nimi Service Limited, it is a company running the hospitals and the professional, can she or can that company maintain that on cash basis? So write down guys, it is not allowed. Because when you read the section 128 subsection 1, along with the rules, along with the rules, it is clearly provided and mentioned that books of accounts of the company shall be prepared by following, write down, by following double entry system and on accrual basis, on accrual basis. So this was the CA final question, guys. So no company in this country, no matter what you are, how large you are in the size, books of accounts shall be prepared on accrual basis only. That is mercantile system. Mercantile system. Cash basis is not allowed. Okay. All right. Next point over here is, what about the maintenance of the books of accounts in case of branches? In case of branches. Now, before I go with the branches, what is the problem? Let me tell you. Law clearly says under section 128, law clearly states under section 128 what it says. So according to section 128, the place of keeping books of accounts, place to keep the books of accounts is registered office. Is registered office. So where it will be kept? Registered office. And now before I go, let me clear one thing. I'm talking about over here the registered office. So registered office and head office, are these two same concepts or the different concept? What do you think? Whatever office is registered over here, is it registered office or head office? आपको क्या लगता है? What is your opinion in that? So understand guys, registered office and head office, these two concepts are altogether different. ये दोनों same नहीं है. Registered office means it is the official address given to the law authority like ROC and the government. Your head office may be different. Law doesn't say that your books of accounts must have to be kept at a head office, but it says it must have to be kept at a registered office. Are you able to see this? It must have to be kept at registered office. Registered office में वो आपको रखना है. It must have to be kept at registered office. Now there is a wonderful question of CA final I want to share with you. Let's say there is a company's name is Mahima Limited, suppose, and this company's head office is sorry. This company's registered office, it is in one of the villages of Maharashtra. Let's say village's name is Rampur. Rampur. Rampur is the village where the registered office is registered. Suddenly, but company's head office is at Mumbai. So it is very difficult for the company officers to have the watch on the books of accounts, because everything is getting maintained at Rampur, and the distance between Rampur and Mumbai is somewhere around 500 kilometers. So first of all, provide all the details to Rampur. Rampur accountants will prepare the books of accounts, and all those extracts will be given back to HO Mumbai. So it is time consuming. It takes a lot of time. In order to make it easy, Mahima Limited decides to change the place to keep the books of accounts. Books of accounts. Explain whether is it possible or not, or company must have to change the register office. What do you think about it? Is it possible that you don't change the registered office, but you simply and only change the place to keep books of accounts? Is it possible or not? Hello? Okay, Mahima says no, it has to change the registered office first automatically. Okay, fine. Any other student who wants to give the different opinion on this regard? Is it compulsory that you have to change registered office? Answer will be no. There is a facility under section 128, read with the rules that if company wants to change the place to keep books of accounts, there is no any hesitation. So what law says? It is compulsory to keep the books of accounts in registered office, but in case company wants to change the office, write down here. In case company wants to change, not registered office, but what? Place to keep books of accounts, it is allowed. Simply the company needs to follow certain rules, certain conditions. And what those conditions are, and these conditions are part of your actually answer. So write down this, what are the conditions? Conditions. Yeah. Write down what are the conditions here. Um, here. Only simple condition is provided. Company needs to pass conditions. So here, okay, you tell me who takes the decision regarding changing it. Will it be taken by the shareholders or it will be taken by the board of directors? Who will take this decision that we want to change it? Obviously, they will be board of directors. So any decision, look, only one director is not allowed to take decision on behalf of company. Even if Mr. Mukesh Ambani is running Reliance Jio, but do you really think that Mr. Mukesh Ambani alone is the decision maker there? No. Legally, the what I can see, meetings of directors will be called up, matter will be discussed there, and if majority of the directors do agree on that, then and only then we can say that decision is passed by board of directors. So understand, even the concept of director and board of directors, these two concepts are different. Never ever think the decision taken by Mukesh Ambani is binding on company. Kabhi bhi nahi. So guys, write down over here the condition number one here. You need to call the board meeting. In that board meeting, you need to pass board resolution. Board resolution. What is board resolution here? Board resolution means you have to pass that decision deciding that yes, really company wants to change it. And it needs to get passed by majority. More than half of the directors must agree what you are deciding here. All right. Now, along with that board resolution, intimate to ROC by filing the form. Right on? Intimate ROC by filing the form called INC 22 within 15 days of passings. So when you intimate ROC that yes, it is completed, then this procedure gets over. So this is the wonderful question of CA final. And I think in one of the attempts it was in CA Inter as well. I don't remember exact the year, but पूछा जा सकता है exam में. Got it? Hello? Right on, guys? I want to just correct myself. It is not 15 days, guys. I'm extremely sorry. It is only 7 days. I want to correct myself. Sorry, it is my mistake. It is just within 7 days you need to intimate. भाई ये 15 days नहीं है. ठीक है? I'm sorry. Okay, बेटे. अगर हो गया हो तो type the word done so that I can go to the next explanation. Come on. All right. Thank you. Now, what about the branches? Because law ने तो ये कह दिया कि books of accounts either will be maintained at a registered office or books of accounts will be maintained at any other place which is intimated to ROC. But what about Indian and foreign branches? What about Indian and foreign branches? So is it like that every day they need to send all the books of accounts to Indian registered office by mail or courier or post? Is it like that? Is it like that every day all the branches, whether foreign or Indian, they will send the bulky ledgers and everything? Answer is no. Okay, I will just show you that what exactly section 128 is trying to say here. But whether it is Indian branch or foreign branch, one thing is clear that they do not require to send all the details again. Instead of that, they are sending just the extract. You understood, right? What is extract? If they just send extract, do you know what is extract? Summary it is called. Further loss is periodically, then it will be the very, well, what I can say, valid compliances. It will be considered as a valid compliances. All right. The best is monthly, weekly. It is up to you. It is up to you what decision you want to take. But if you ask me, as such, the rules are not there. But I recommend once in a quarter, you should send all the details back to the registered office. All right. Okay. Next point over here is, what about the inspection of books of accounts? Inspection of books of accounts. So my question here is, can creditors look at this question is very, very important, very significant. चलिए एक कहानी लेते हैं. For example, right now, Mr. Milan, he's a shareholder of Reliance Limited, and he invested somewhere around 5 crores. He's a shareholder, come member, and Neha, she is the creditor of the company. Okay, I want to take these two characters. First is Milan, who is shareholder. Another is Neha. Both of these people have doubt on the books of accounts. They're thinking that there is something fishy. This company is manipulating the books of accounts. The profit is not as real as they are showing. It is not as real as they are showing. So one day, Neha and Milan, one is creditor, other is shareholder, booked the cab, Uber kiya, and directly went to Reliance company's office and said, "Hey, bhai, what is this? Hey, huh? You're making us fool. You're making us fool. Why you are showing the last profit? The profit is less than the previous year. Huh? You do not want to send us the dividend, right? Why did I want to check your books of accounts? I want to check your books of accounts. My question is, any member or shareholder is allowed to inspect the books of accounts or not? Answer this. Can they inspect the books of accounts? And the question can be there on this basis. Can member and creditor, are they allowed to inspect the books of accounts? So Mahima says yes. All right. Waiting for other students. Sometimes I feel like only Mahima is in the class, others are sleeping or they are not paying proper attention. Look at the hero of the story, Milan and Neha. None of them are answering. भाई प्रॉब्लम क्या है आप लोगों को? थोड़ा रिस्पॉन्ड कर लेंगे तो अच्छा लगेगा भाई. ठीक है, मेरे को अच्छा लगेगा कि देखो मेरे बच्चे मुझे रिस्पॉन्ड कर रहे हैं, दे आर रियली देयर. ठीक है, लेकिन आपको परवाह ही नहीं. ठीक है. So answer to this question is, okay, you understood the logic first. You tell me one thing. Books of accounts and the financial statements, are these two the same things or different things? बताओ. Financial statements and books of accounts, are they same thing or different thing? It is the same. Like, look, financial statement is the outcome of books of accounts. You try to understand the relationship between these two. Do you agree with me? Hello? Can I say the financial statements, that means the balance sheet and profit and loss account? These two are actually outcomes of books of accounts. So books of accounts is the formula using which we derive the financial statements. It is just like the formula to make Coca-Cola and Coca-Cola product. Do we have right to access how Coca-Cola product is made? Do we have that formula? Can we access the formula? Understand, guys, the details what is provided in books of accounts sometimes are very, very top secret details. If it is allowed to be inspected by anyone, shareholders, creditors, if anyone can inspect it, there is no secrecy about the formula, there is no secrecy about who are my customers, there is no secrecy about who are my creditors. My very top sensitive information may get leaked. And some people can go for insider trading as well, which is a crime in India. You cannot go for insider trading in India. Do you know this? भारत में आप insider trading नहीं कर सकते. 10 साल की जेल की सजा है. 10 years imprisonment you can be sentenced with. So guys, understand, only one person is allowed to inspect the books of accounts, and that is only and only director in the company. Director. Other doubt is, then what about the shareholders? What about their doubts? And that is why they are allowed to hire their representative who can go to the company and can inspect the books of accounts. And who is the representative of shareholders? He is known as auditor. Well done, Mehma. He is known as auditor. So auditor will go to the company, will inspect the books of accounts, will create and prepare the report, and that report will be handed over to the shareholders. वो shareholders को दिया जाए. Let me show you something interesting here. Are you able to see this shared content here? Wait. Yes, if you look at the folder what I have shared, it is, look at this company audit report other than balance sheet and profit and loss account. If I click on this, if are you able to see this Microsoft Word? Look at, this is the auditor's audit report. क्या लिखा है यहाँ पे? Is it, what is the addressing? Addressing is to the company. Is it to the directors or it is to the members? Auditor is addressing to whom? You can look at over here. It is to the shareholders. It is to the members of the company. So report of auditor is prepared not for the directors but students. It is prepared for the members. So already such what I can say, the great intelligent, dashing, knowledgeable personalities already hired to audit it. Why members and the director should be allowed? So one thing should be clear in everyone's mind, that inspection should not be allowed to everyone. Only directors and the auditors are the two people who is allowed to inspect the books of accounts. No one else has any authority. No one has any right to inspect it. दूसरा कोई माइकल उसको चेक नहीं कर सकता. But even director has certain limitations. Why? If you look at the material what I have given, can director inspect the books of accounts of each and every branch? And again, the branch can be categorized into two parts. What about the Indian branch and what about the foreign branch? And can he inspect the books of accounts of subsidiary company? What is the answer of these two questions? I think time is up. So I don't want to discuss right now. I hope you're learning and enjoying section 128. Are you getting it? How it's drafted? कैसे जा रहा है? ठीक है? Look, I need to be a little bit slow here because there are a lot of provisions. And trust me, it is one of the lengthiest chapter in whole CA intro. इसके बाद एक और लेंथी चैप्टर आएगा जिसको ऑडिटर कहते हैं और उसका भी बाप आएगा जनरल मीटिंग. इतना कर लो आपका संविधान 80% कॉम्पिटेंस एट इज ओवर. बाकी तो सब छोटे मोटे चैप्टर्स. ऑल राइट, is it clear to all of you? Hello. So thank you very much for today's students. Even if it was Sunday, you showed your presence. I liked it. So see you in the next class. Good luck.